trouble. A boy named Belle lives in a secret place underground. He faces many difficult situations, such as being stuck in a small settlement with little room to play. However, he never gives up or loses hope. One day, a terrible sickness spread from a cat's mouth to the whole settlement. All the adults got very, very sick. Belle and the other kids were scared because they were alone, but they kept looking for a solution. Belle volunteered to go to the Underground Railroad and find help, even if it was dangerous and spooky. Belle had to be brave to go to the French and Finnish settlements. This was something only Belle could do because the adults thought they weren't friends anymore. However, Belle didn't care about the old rules. He didn't give up on anyone. Finally, he found the help they needed to get better. He showed what real hope means. Thanks to Belle, the settlement became safe again. To me, hope is like rain on a very dry day. You never know when rain is going to come, but when it does, it brings joy and relief. I will try to be like Belle in difficult situations. Thank you for listening to my book presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Ayla. Today I will talk about the book After the Full White Dance Sentence. This book is about Humpty Dumpty. After he falls from the wall, he becomes scared. But he learned to be brave again. Humpty Dumpty falls from the wall. He becomes afraid of heights. He becomes brave again and learns how to fly. This story teaches us to keep trying and never give up. I was scared to do bungee jumping too, but I told myself I can do it. After that, I felt brave and confident. Thank you for listening.
Can you imagine not being able to see or hear? Today, I'm going to talk about the book called I Am Helen Keller. This book is an official book and it is by Helen Keller and her life. She is America's famous writer and speaker. When she was very young, she got very sick. After that, she could not see or hear, but she did not give up hope. Sometimes she felt angry and sad because she could not talk to people. Then, Anne Sullivan became her teacher and helped Helen learn words by spelling letters on her hand. One day, Anne spilled water on Helen's hand, and Helen finally understood that things have names. Later, she went to college and became a person who gave hope to many people. I think hope is very important because Helen Keller was the person who showed hope, courage, and never giving up. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jane.
Have you ever felt like you're trying your hardest but nobody understands you? That is exactly how Allie, the main character of Fish in a Tree, feels almost every day. At school, Allie acts like she does not care about anything. She jokes around, draws pictures, and sometimes gets into trouble. But the truth is very different. Allie has a big secret. She cannot read well. Whenever her teacher asks her to read out loud, the letters seem to move around on the page. Words become confusing and scary. Things get even worse because many students misunderstand her. Some kids laugh at her mistakes, and some teachers think she's simply lazy. So Allie starts believing something terrible. Maybe I really am dumb. But then, a new teacher named Mr. Daniels comes to her class. Unlike the other teachers, Mr. Daniels notices something special about Allie. He sees that she is creative, smart, and full of amazing ideas. One day, Mr. Daniels discovers that Allie has dyslexia, a learning difference that makes reading difficult. And suddenly, Allie's whole world changes. For the first time in her life, Ayla realizes she is not stupid at all. Her brain just works differently. Slowly, Ayla becomes braver. She starts answering questions in class. She makes real friends like Keisha and Albert who also feel different from others. Together, they support one another instead of tearing each other down. One of the most important moments of the story is when Mr. Daniels explains this idea. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing it is stupid. That quote connects perfectly to Allie's life. Everyone expected Allie to learn in one specific way, but nobody noticed her incredible imagination, creativity, and problem-solving skills. By the end of the story, Allie is still learning and still struggling sometimes. But now she has something she never had before. Confidence. She no longer hides from the world. She finally believes she is smart in her own way. That is why the theme of hope is so important in Mission 3. Hope did not magically solve Allie's problem. She still had difficulties, but hope gave her the courage to keep trying. This story teaches us something powerful. Sometimes one caring teacher, one good friend, or one month of understanding can change a person's life. And sometimes the people who feel the most different are the ones with the most special gifts. Imagine you and your friend had an exam and your friend didn't do well. You may want to say it's your responsibility that you didn't study hard enough. But if you don't want to hurt his feelings, you could say, it's okay, you have tried your best. You can try again next time. When given the choice between being right or kind, always choose kind. This is a phrase from a book named Wonders, written by R.J. Pecchio. The main character, August, has facial disabilities. Despite the harsh segregation he faced, he always chose kindness. Eventually, his hope of acceptance became true. August has facial differences. His face looks like wax melting from a candle. Because of this, he rarely had any friends. He hoped to become a normal person every single day. He wore a helmet to avoid attention from others. He was homeschooled by his mom until he was 5th grade when he finally decided to go to school. When he first went to school, people screamed in fear and stared at him with disgust. Despite when he felt insecure, lonely, and anxious, he continued to attend school and even tried to make friends. However, he found out that his friend Jack was told to be friends with him by the teacher. He was heartbroken and depressed. But did he run away from this? No. He continued to attend school and just turned away from the meanness and unkindness. The people who were once mean to him became kind and supportive, feeling sorry and guilty for what they have done. In this story, I have learned that it doesn't matter how other people look at you. What truly matters is your inner self. Your body is just a container for your soul. Always try to be yourself. Once you be yourself, there will always be hope. His dad owned the His dad looked. He had to cry. No, he liked that too. Beat them in the mud. Beat them round. Pretty rock, beat like round. Beat them in the bucket of water. Beat them white and white. Dear Patrick crying now because it's all good. I learned he didn't think his white shoes were dirty. He thought that was good too. I want to think positively like I should do. Thank you. Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna tell you about the real story of Ayla and how the war took away her home, her friends, and even her freedom. Imagine, one night your mom suddenly says, "Pack your things, we have to hide." How would you feel? I will feel really scared and I don't think I will believe it. This isn't a made-up story. This really happened to Anna Frank. And it hurt my heart more because it's true. In 1942, during World War II, Hitler and the Nazis hate Jewish people for no reason. I still don't understand how people can hate without a reason, just because they were different. Many people lost their homes, friends, and even their freedom. This must never happen again. Alice and her family had to hide in a very small alley. They were always so scared they might get found. Going to school, and with family, living with friends, all those normal things became just memories of Anna. I realized how special these things are. In the tiny attic, Anna wrote down her fears, her hope, her dreams in her diary. Anna wrote, "In spite of everything, I still believe people are really good at heart. And where there are hopes, there's life." For Anna's story, I learned how important freedom, family, and friendships are. Now, I promise not to take these things for granted. Anna's life taught me to never judge anyone just because they were different. I will try not to judge others, but they also make them different. Even today, many children are suffering from war in places like China. They're losing their homes and hitting in fear just like Anna did. It breaks my heart, but I will not share Anna's hope with them. I dream of a world where every child can grow up in peace. When life is hard or scary, I'll try to remember Anna's courage. And like Anna, I will not be someone who will help to others. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Yuna, and today I'm going to talk about a book called Bad Girls by Jacqueline Wilson. This book is about a girl named Mandy having a best friend even in bullies. She found hope after the friendship with Tanya. Mandy was a girl who was teased and bullied by three girls, Kim, Melanie, and Sarah. In the school, nobody liked her. She was also very shy and timid, so she couldn't make new friends. One day, Mandy broke her arm because she was running across the road to get away from bullies. When she met an older foster girl named Tanya, they played together and became best friends. The bully was gone by the help of Mr. Edwards, the principal, but Kim, Melanie, and Sarah still act if they are hating Mandy. So a boy in her class after helped her. However, a big problem happened. Tanya stole the hairband for Mandy. Then she stole the clothes from the shop. Suddenly, she had to go to the police station and couldn't meet Mandy anymore. Because Tanya protected and helped Mandy like a protector, Tanya has a lot of confidence. She became brave and she had hoped to be confident in the school through our friendship with Tanya. This book taught me that hope is important to have because if we don't, that means we can't achieve our goals and we don't have dreams. What I learned in this book is that if we don't give up hope, we can't achieve our goals. Mandy will need to have better life at school and make friends. Even though she was bullied, she did not stop going to the school and finally found a friend, Tanya. I think giving up is losing hope. For example, if I get second place at cello contest, I should not just stop playing the cello. I should practice more to be the first place and have to have hope and dream to be the first place. If we give up things, there will be no happiness in the future. I recommend this book if you like realistic fiction stories and if you want to know how important friendship is. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, does anyone think they're caterpillars? Probably not, right? But after you read the book I brought today, you might think differently. Because sometimes we leave just like a caterpillar in the story. So today I will introduce The Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. It's a beautiful story about the love and hope of two caterpillars who found the courage to be their true selves. In the beginning, the main character Strut climbs the caterpillar pillar to reach the top. This pillar was a giant tower made of thousands of caterpillars stepping on each other to get higher. It was a pillar of freedom. No one even knows what is at the top. While settling there, Strut asked himself, why am I climbing so hard? Is being at the top the only way to be happy? Just then, he meets Yoona. They finally laugh and decide to stop competing and come down together. I thought this part was a special moment when we finally lived in a different direction instead of just sneaking out. However, Strut eventually goes back to the pillar because he couldn't completely let go of his ambition. I thought this part was very realistic too, because people often go back to their old way as well. In the end, Strut gets more and more tired of this endless competition. Meanwhile, Yellow finds the courage to go into a dark cocoon with hope. Finally, as a beautiful butterfly, she returns to Strut and says, you can do it too. I was most moved by the scene where Yellow returns to share hope. If she had flown alone, she might have been unhappy because of the guilt of leaving Strut behind. I think hope is not just about succeeding alone, but it's about giving courage to others. Finally, Strut found the courage to go into a cocoon too. He became a butterfly as well. Now the two butterflies fly together on a wide sky, no longer stepping on each other. I think hope is courage to share and heart to change. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Isaac. Today I'll talk about the book called Fish in a Tree by Linda Montgomery Hunt. I'll tell you the summary of the story. Haelyn Nicholson is a sixth grade student who struggles with reading and writing. Even though she is creative and intelligent, she thinks she's dumb because learning is very difficult for her. She becomes nervous in class whenever she has to read out loud or do schoolwork. To hide her problem, she sometimes jokes around or causes trouble. Haelyn feels lonely because some students, especially Shay, bully her and make fun of her. She believes that nobody will understand her. At home, her family cares about her, but Haelyn still worries that she will never be successful in school. Everything changes when a new teacher named Mr. Daniels comes to her class. Unlike other teachers, he noticed Haelyn's talent and understands that she learned differently. He discovers that Haelyn has a dyslexia, learning difference that makes reading really difficult. Mr. Daniels explained that dyslexia does not mean Haelyn is not smart. That encourages her to keep trying and never give up. As the time passes, Haelyn becomes friends with Keisha and Alba, two classmates who feel different from others. Together, they support one another and become more confident. Ellie slowly improves her reading skills and being to believe in herself. For the first time, by the end of the story, she realizes that everyone has struggles and special talents. She learns that different is not something to be ashamed. Open hope, friendship, and support. Ellie becomes stronger, happier, and excited about her future. I'll tell you why hope is important. This story teaches people should never give up, even when life is hard. Hopes help Ellie become stronger and more confident. With support from teachers and friends, Ellie learns that being different can also be something special. My opinion, I think this book is inspiring because Ellie never stops trying. It teaches readers to be kind to others and to believe in themselves. I learned that everyone can learn differently. And hope can help people overcome difficult situations. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm Laon. Today I'm going to talk about a book called After the Fall. This book is about an egg who lost hope but found hope again. There was an egg called Humpty Dumpty who lived on the top of the wall with birds. One day he fell. After that, he lost hope and became afraid of heights. Nothing, not even his favorite cereal, could make him go up hungry. One day, an idea flew by. He started to make a paper plane. It was easy to get scratches and paper cuts, but he didn't give up. Finally, it was finished. The plane went up and landed on top of the wall where he fell. Humpty Dumpty was scared, but he had courage. He climbed the wall again and flew in the sky. He learned that even after failing, he could still do new things. My experience was similar to Humpty Dumpty's story. I have weak thumbs, so I don't like running. But I joined a 3-kilometer marathon race because I wanted to help conservation and challenge myself. My family cheered me on, and my dad ran beside me during the race. Whenever I wanted to give up, he encouraged me and gave me strength. Because of hope and the support from my family, I was able to overcome my weakness and finish the marathon. I think hope is a positive power that helps us overcome our weaknesses to achieve something precious or important to us. Hope gives us courage to keep track even when things are difficult. Thank you for listening. Hello, have you ever felt how hard it is to never give up? Have you ever wanted to stop because something was too difficult? Today, I would like to introduce a story about hope, Stuart Little, written by E.B. White. This story is about a very small character named Stuart who looks like a mouse but lives with a human family, and his good friend, a small bird named Margella. In the beginning, Stuart is very small, so the world is not easy for him. Even opening a door is difficult and going somewhere can be dangerous. Sometimes the world feels too big for him, but Stuart never gives up. He builds a tiny boat and keeps moving forward even when he feels afraid. In the middle of the story, Stuart meets Marcello and they become good friends. They understand each other and spend happy time together. But one day, Marcello leaves to escape from a dangerous cat without saying goodbye. Stuart becomes alone again. In the end, instead of giving up, Stuart makes a different choice. He goes on a journey to find Marcello. The road is long and he does not know the result, but he keeps going. He never gives up. So, what is hope? Hope is not about knowing the result. Hope is about keep going even when you don't know what will happen. It means believing in yourself and taking one more step. In my life, when things are difficult, I sometimes want to give up. For example, when studying is hard or when I make mistakes. But I tell myself, never give up, just one more step. And I keep going step by step. Stuart may still be walking somewhere looking for Marcello, but I believe his journey is not lonely because he has hope in his heart. And that hope keeps him moving forward. And maybe one day he will finally find Marcello again. Hope is a small step that we take every day and a strong heart that never gives up. And we can all have that hope in our own lives. I recommend this book, Stuart Little, which taught me about hope. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Haelyn. Today I will talk about the book called Where the Mountain Misty Moon by Grace Lynn. This is a book about a girl named Lily who finds fortune and hope. She and her family live in a poor village under the fruitless mountain where nothing grows. Even though her life is hopeless, she never loses hope in difficult situations. Instead of complaining, she tries to change her family's destiny. Lily's story starts when she leaves his home to find the old man of the moon who knows everything. On her way, she meets a chestnut that has no wings. Even though he has no wings, Lily goes with him because he has hope. On her journey, she meets the evil green tiger and difficult situations. When she is tired and scared, she tries to keep going because she wanted to not be hopeless. At last, Lily uses her questions to help the children to fly instead of asking fortune and money. Because of her hope and kindness, her village turns green and happy. She found hope and happiness through not money, but through gratitude. And the book says, the more you want it, the more you are dissatisfied. But if you're grateful for what you have, you are always happy. Why is it important to have hope and not lose hope? I think hope is a light in the dark. Without hope, Lily would have lived in a gray village forever. Because she had hope, she was able to make her village and her friends happy. I thought hope gives us courage to change the world. Just like Lily turned a fruitless mountain into a fruitful one. I hope can turn a bad situation into a good one. If we don't give up, there is always a way to find happiness. This book told me that being thankful and having hope is real for children. If you ever feel like giving up, try to have hope.
Hello, my name is Yuna. Today I would like to introduce a book called Thank You, Mr. Falcon. This is a true story written by Patricia Polacco, and there is a girl named Trisha who had a trouble living and feels dumb and hopeless. But one teacher, Mr. Falcon, noticed her talents and helped her learn. Trisha is teased by a friend named Eric, but Mr. Falcon always defends him and makes him apologize. One day, Mr. Falcon noticed her talent in art and stays after school to help her learn. They use fun and unusual ways to learn, like sand, sponge, block, music, and more. One day, Trisha reads a whole paragraph by herself and understands it. She gained confidence, falls in love with reading, and later became a children's book author. I think having hope is important because hope gives us strength when things are difficult. And also hopes help us keep trying and improve, and without hope, people may give up too early. Everyone have a difficult situation in their life, but hope helps us stay positive and brave. Trisha had a trouble reading, but she kept trying with Mr. Parker's help. So this story shows the kindness and hope can make people succeed. A little hope can make a big difference. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Irene from grade 3, and today I'm going to talk about a book called Because of Winn-Dixie by Katie Camilo. Introduction. Because of Winn-Dixie is a fiction story about a lonely girl named Opal. A special dog named Winn-Dixie helps her to find hope and make many new friends. Beginning. Opal moves to the new town in Florida with her dad, who is a preacher. She feels lonely because she doesn't have any friends and also misses her mom a lot. One day, Opal found a dirty dog in a grocery store and she named him Winn-Dixie. Opal decided to bring him to her house. Middle. Winn-Dixie helped Opal to make many new friends in the new town. Opal became friends with Miss Franny, Gloria Gump, and Otis. Each person has problems, but they still try hard to live happily. So, Opal learned that many people have hard times, but they also try hard to overcome. And one night a storm came, and Winn-Dixie disappeared in the storm. Opal was very worried and scared of losing her best friend. She looked everywhere with her friends and dad. But in the end, Winn-Dixie was found safely hiding inside the house because he was afraid of the storm. Opal knew that she doesn't have to be lonely anymore because she now has friends and hope. Why it is important to have hope and not lose hope. Even though Opal feels lonely, she doesn't lose hope after meeting Winn-Dixie. Hope is important because it helps us to continue even when the life is difficult. When I was in kindergarten, there was a friend who always sat alone and did not talk much with other children. Many friends did not talk with her, but I hope we can become friends. One day we started talking and playing together during recess, and I realized that she was actually very kind and funny. This experience taught me that kindness and hope can help people feel less lonely and build good friendships. Thank you for listening.